On this week's episode of the Financial Freeman podcast, we will discuss how a meme coin based on the Squid Game series on Netflix went from being worth almost $3,000 to just almost zero in 5 minutes. We will look at the story through an experienced crypto investor, and we will discuss the pitfalls to save you from losing such money going forward. So, October the 27th, Luke Hartford, a crypto investor, goes on Twitter and he's looking at a thread all about a new coin called Shiba Inu, and it's actually known as the Dogecoin killer. Remember Dogecoin?
Yes.
So this new coin, Shiba, say it's new, it's been going around for a bit, and it's got a little picture of a dog, which actually I think looks like a cat, but it is a dog. Anyway, so that's worth a fortune. So Luke's having a look at this and seeing how far it's going to go. It's actually overtaken Dogecoin, but he sees another new coin being touted, all about Squid Game, and he thinks, that's interesting. And he's quite experienced, so he works out how these things work and how often they can go on just excitement. And this thread, at the time, the coin was worth, I think it's about 70 cents per coin. And can you imagine, what do you think the Twitter said to sort of reel people in? What do you think it said?
To the moon!
To the moon. And if so, it was 70 cents at the time. It says getting quick before what?
Before it gets to 700.
Before it gets to $1. So this is what they do. It sets a little target. And it's like, right, it's going at 7 cents, and he's thinking, I've got to get in quick. Now he knows the drill, so he knows that it's just a bit of talk, but he can see there's a bit of a buzz around this coin. And at the time, the show was literally exploding on Netflix. So it suddenly looked, like possibly it was going to shoot up. So he didn't mess around much. He gets out his wallet.
How was it related to the show?
Not at all.
Right.
So he's not stupid. He knows this. He knows there's probably sort of intellectual property issues, because they can't really do this, as in they can't, if the coin was if it was going to be an official coin based on the show and based on some kind of platform allowing you to do something based on the show, then fine. But he knew it kind of wasn't, and they spouted something about, this will give you access to play a game, but it's obvious that it wasn't linked to it officially. So it looked, even from the outset, a bit of a joke. But then jokes in the past, like Dogecoin, you might remember,
it was started as a joke.
Started as jokes.
And then got quite real.
Yeah, so it doesn't stop any of them becoming valuable and going up a lot in value. So he knows deep down that it's quite conceivably a joke, and he might lose his money. And that's the reason he only puts in $300. So Luke's quite sharp. He's like, right, well, I don't want to miss out, but at the same time, I'm not going to throw the house. And I think that's lesson number one, is when you are getting involved with this, don't go crazy and do what Luke did, and actually take his advice and just put in a bit of sort of loose change, which I think it was for him. So he puts in his $300, and I think he paid about 90 cents per coin. Okay, 27th of October. He checks again when he wakes up on the 28th of October. Okay, what do you think the price is then?
$1.50.
$5.
Wow.
So his $300 has gone up to something like $1,300-ish, and he's loving it. I mean, what a great return. But already that's an alarm bell, because nothing should be going up that high that quickly. And again, Luke knows to start looking out for this stuff. So he goes on Twitter again, which is his source for most things cryptocurrency related. And he sees a story saying that someone is trying to sell some of their exposure, some of their coins, and can't. Now that's the biggest red flag in the sort of crypto.
So no one can
in the cryptocurrency world. So
it's all a big
he doesn't know
sham.
No one can at this point. He's just seen that someone is trying to sell. Now obviously people are going to try and sell, because
you've made money. Yeah.
You've made money, and it's just gone up a ridiculous amount already. And so he's seeing an alarm bell, right? And he also goes on their website, which is like written in rubbish English. Rubbish is probably rubbish English, but anyway, he goes on and sees it's not a proper sort of looking website, and their Twitter
English
feed,
not proper.
Exactly, and he sees their Twitter feed doesn't allow replies, and it's all looking pretty unofficial at this point. And then he logs on to his database, not really sure what he does, but he sees that he can't sell his coins, but he can pay another $50, I think it was, to basically get a marble, which they tell him that he will then be able to sell his coins at a later date. I think he uses his marbles, and they said that if you use your marbles, then...
lost his marbles.
Yeah, lost his marbles. Now, he knows he's not daft, remember. So this guy is experienced, and he knows that his $50, just like his $300, may well be kind of basically just going down the drain at this point. But he's now sitting on a pot of $1,500 or something thereabouts. So he's thinking, well, I may as well throw in 50 just for that sort of off chance that it's going to be worth more. So he does. And he can see the prices going up and up and up. So, you throw another 50. No harm there. So he goes another 50, right? And then the next few days, it's going up and up and up, this coin. And everyone's talking about it. It was on the news. That's how I first saw it. And one of the main heads, CCN, whatever it's called, CBC in America. So it's big news at this point.
CCN?
I don't even know. Anyway,
English, not
CNBC, no, yeah.
American, not
yeah. So, but anyway, it was on. It popped up on my little newsfeed. This coin's going crazy, and to me that made sense. I don't know anything about these coins, but Squid Game was popular, so this was going to be popular. So I actually could see that I didn't know anything. The fact that it was a mistake or potential fraud, as we'll come on to, but it was obvious that it was a potential to kind of go up, and obviously people would easily jump on the bandwagon because they can see that there's a good story behind it. So he goes, and it's the 31st.
What's a good story?
Squid Coin's a good story. Get a Squid Coin game. You don't need any more than that to make a good story. I think it's serious. I mean, it's dogs. Put a picture of a dog on it, and it's gone high up, and you get Elon Musk to tweet it 1,000%.
Did Elon Musk tweet?
Not this. No, he's not involved in this one, thankfully. So, although he's soon to mention in every single episode, but so it's clear that it's something going on. You can see it could just be could not be dodgy. It could just be like
dodgy Dogecoin.
Yeah, good. So, but it could just be that and not a fraud. So he doesn't know yet at this point, Luke. Anyway, he goes to bed soundly on the 31st of October. Is that Halloween? Maybe, I don't even know. Anyway, he goes safe and sound. It's a Saturday night.
Ooh.
So markets, not cryptocurrency markets, but all other markets are asleep. They're closed on the weekend. So nothing really should be happening in any market because they're all intertwined. So even though cryptocurrency is still open, you wouldn't expect any huge sudden kind of surges because everything else is closed. So there's no kind of other news to make that happen. So you go to bed. Luke goes to bed sort of safe and sound, and then he wakes up the next day to find out what happens and what does happen. So it's 31st of October. The coin is worth...
it's the 1st of November.
31st, sorry, is when he goes to bed, and it's worth $34 at this point. So you can probably do the maths quicker than I can, but his exposure was 300, and it was worth less than $1. So anyway, probably about $9 grand, I think. About $9 grand, I think, he's worth. So his $300 is now worth $9 grand, okay? It shoots up from $34 to 1:30 in the morning, about 1:35 in the morning. It goes to $90. Crazy. So this is just like, it's just insane. And then 1 hour later...
Is he not going to try and cash out
he's asleep at this point.
Oh, right.
So Luke doesn't even know what's going on, as opposed to most of these people. But everyone's trying to pile in because they can see it going up crazy amounts. And when you can see anything going crazy, you don't...
You don't want to miss out, yeah.
Fear of missing out. You just want to be in. So he's... At 1:30 it's $90. At 2:30 it's suddenly $434 a coin.
That's
just stupid money. And then it goes up to 2,000.
Wait, but everyone's asleep.
But not everyone's asleep because I know there's America. Like it's not.
Is this Chris English?
Luke, I think Luke. I don't even know. But anyway, so he is asleep. He doesn't know what's going on. But it's going up and up, right? And then 2 hours later, this is the moment it happens. It's 4:35 a.m. Sunday morning. Okay, it goes up to $2,856. Right, his worth at that point is just under $900,000 US.
Wow!
If it was worth that, he doesn't know but that's kind of how much his net worth. So it's pretty good growth in 4 days, something like that. He's had these coins for when it was just under $1, and he's saying a tweet to say get involved for $1, right? 5 minutes later, it's worth almost nothing. Okay, that's what I was looking for. So basically, they pull whoever created the coin, and I don't know the technical behind it, but they basically pull the rug on the whole thing. They managed to get out their original exposure. They are managing to sell somehow, even though no one else can. They transfer it on. They transfer it on an exchange, so they managed to do that, and they walk away with 3.6 million-ish US dollars. Okay, that's theirs. They will probably never be caught. I think it was of South Korean origin, as you'd expect, based on the actual show.
That's so prejudice.
No, well, that's what they think.
Oh.
And
you said as you'd expect.
Well, as you'd expect, because the game. So
the
Squid Game is based on that. So,
okay.
And they're unlikely to be ever traced. The murky world of the internet, and actually, I think for that sum, there's been a lot bigger sort of cryptocurrency.
Just a petty crime.
Well, there's been a lot bigger cryptocurrency scams. The biggest one, I think, is this OneCoin, which is £4 billion scam, which is actually amazingly still going.
Not being caught.
Even though
still going.
Still going, even though they know it's a scam.
And they're not being caught.
No.
Has anyone ever been caught?
From it, don't know. Some are fake deaths. There's been all kinds of stuff. Yeah, there's been all kinds of things. They all do the same thing. They try and pull the rug basically from it and walk away with lots of the money and don't allow the investors to take their money. So what do you think Luke said about this whole episode?
Well, that was interesting, he said.
Yeah, that's kind of what he said. He said this is cryptocurrency world, and because it's not regulated, so do you understand sort of what regulation means?
I know what regulations are, yeah.
Yeah, so cryptocurrency isn't regulated, okay, in the same way that mortgages are.
So, but what's the one everyone's in? Bitcoin.
Bitcoin's not regulated. It's not regulated by any.
Could that be a scam?
No, I don't think so. First of all, you can see all the exchanges on an open platform, so you can see who's buying who and who's doing what. And you've got all the miners who are mining the coins, who are basically checking the works we've discussed before. So no, I don't think Bitcoin can be a scam. You might say it's incredibly overvalued, but that's a different argument. I don't think you can say it's a scam. Whereas this coin was a scam. You couldn't trade it, so it's a scam. Now he said it's just part and parcel of getting involved with a coin of this nature. And he said you live by the sword, you die by the sword. Which is quite an incredible attitude to take, considering he just lost sort of £1 million or $1 million.
They didn't.
But he didn't, because he never really had it anyway, and he kind of knew from the beginning that there was a good chance of it being a scam. And I think that really is sort of the lesson, that you only put in what you probably can.
So what percent
of
these are scams?
Probably low. I mean, I don't know, but I think even if they're not scams, then I think the likelihood is that you're being egged on, let's say, by other influencers who are trying to push up the price so that they can essentially sell their stock. So if they buy in at a fraction of $1.
So you're trying to tell people not to believe everything they read on social media?
Yeah, now it seems such a simple message, but I've been involved, myself, you see things and it looks exciting, not really with cryptocurrency, but with shares, and there's a good story. There's always a good story behind it.
I love a good story.
And you get things on Twitter saying this is to the moon or whatever, rockets and trains, and it just looks like it's exciting. And you get involved, and you probably get involved in the knowledge that it might go wrong, but you probably get carried away. And what Luke did really well is that, first of all, his entry was only a small amount. But when he woke up on the 28th of October, a day after he first invested, and he saw it was shooting up, he could have been excused to pile in then. But instead he didn't. He did his spot checks and he started to think that actually this is probably
Should have done the
fraudulent.
spot checks before he put 300
Well,
in.
possibly, but it's like you got that moment. You can see it went up crazy just on that night, so you feel like compulsed to actually go ahead and do it. So he probably doesn't regret it. You've seen what he says.
He's famous now. He's on our podcast.
Well, yeah. So you just have to don't go in more in when it's going up, because then you just get more and more exposed. Do that sort of research. So there might not be a scam, but it might well be that because with all these things you don't actually know what the end game is, and you don't actually know what value it's ever got.
Or the Squid Game is.
Or what the Squid Game is. You're really relying on just someone else to buy it. Is there another buyer? Why? Because of the story. And if it is just because of a story, then that story could just go any moment. So there could be a new story in town. And I think if you look at lots of the top 10 cryptocurrencies from about 5 years ago, some of them are like worth nothing or next to nothing now. So it's not saying don't invest in the cryptocurrency world, but do your research on what sort of technology is. And if you are in doubt and still want to get involved in cryptocurrency, then my advice would probably just to stick to Bitcoin, because that isn't a scam. It's clear, it's got fantastic technology, and you've got...
It's overvalued.
Well, that doesn't... Well, that's... I don't know. I mean, I don't have a clue, putting it bluntly, because I've read arguments on both sides, but at least that's something you can trust. And if you do believe in the technology and you believe in the message of the cryptocurrency world, then you might be best to stick to that rather than gambling. And if you are going to gamble, just gamble a small amount. Okay?
The content of this podcast is for general information purposes and not a recommendation to act. Please contact us or an independent financial advisor if you would like to discuss further. Contact us at gary.financialfreeman@gmail.com. Thanks for listening.
Goodbye for now.
Bye.